In Ethiopia, about 330 feet below sea level, lies the Danakil Depression, one of the most hostile places on Earth. The ground bubbles with pure acid hot springs, the air is thick with poisonous clouds of chlorine and sulfur. Temperatures hit 45 degrees Celsius, 113 Fahrenheit, and every rule of biology says that life should not exist here. Scientists literally and lovingly call it the gateway to hell. No, you didn't click on the nature documentary. This is a video about DC Comics, and this place holds the key to understanding what makes the Absolute Universe, in my opinion, the best superhero content currently running. We've all seen the alternate DC universes before. Evil Justice League, Soviet Superman, Flashpoint, Injustice, cool concepts to be sure, but they're all built on the same idea. What if we took beloved classic superheroes and changed them? The Absolute Universe tries something different. It flips that idea on its head, asking not what if we changed the heroes, but rather, what if we changed the world around them? A group of elites gathers around a single table. Each one speaks with absolute certainty about the world that they own, the world that they've carefully engineered, the world where every threat has been bought, buried, or erased. This is the way things are. This is the way they always have been. This is the way they must be. But tonight, this meeting is not a celebration. It's a warning. Cracks have begun to form in their perfect order. A caped vigilante appears in Gotham, fighting crime gangs, disturbing the interests of the corrupt, and unlike the vigilantes that came before him, he refuses to be paid off. An alien has appeared in different parts of the world, saving people who should not be saved, surviving military encounters that should not be survived, and reaching hearts that should have long since been shattered by the system. An Amazonian rises from hell to take command of the military in order to repel a mystical threat, all while openly practicing magic in front of a world that has long stopped believing. These things cannot be allowed to continue. The status quo must be held. Justice must be maintained. And who better to do it than this cabal of pillars for this dark world? Who better than this Justice League? See, if it wasn't clear enough already, this world doesn't follow the typical DC Universe rules. The Absolute Universe is a world where Darkseid decided he wanted to give the whole one true God thing a try. That is, he made a world where despair and hopelessness are the norm, as opposed to the regular DC Universe, which is canonically and scientifically run on hope. But don't worry, like I said earlier, this isn't another edgy retelling of the DC Universe where the heroes are bad now or whatever. The ironic twist here is that the characters themselves, though their backstories are tweaked slightly, maintain their sense of morality. Let's break them down, and where better to start than the one that's got all the memes, Absolute Batman. So the most noticeable things about Absolute Batman is that he has an axe and is made of wool. I first thought they called him Absolute Batman because he's clearly an absolute fucking unit. But there are more differences here, namely in his origin. See, Crime Alley, instead of being one specific alleyway, is a place in Gotham, and its name is used to refer to a certain neighbourhood, like Hell's Kitchen or something. And this is where Batman has grown up alongside his mother and what will one day become the members of his rogues gallery. That's right. Batman isn't a billionaire in this universe, and his mother is still alive. His father was a teacher that was killed in a zoo shooting, and that's what inspires Bruce to start his journey into crime fighting and replacing all of his body parts with wool. Instead of going on a rich boy trip to learn how to be a god from Tibetan monks and ninjas, this Batman trains in gyms and gets multiple jobs working for the city in order to understand its law and infrastructure. Here, Batman is the underdog, and all of his villains are rooted in the world he is fighting. Joker is the billionaire in this world, and he has seemingly been around way longer than logically possible. They took away Batman's magic utility belt and endless bank account and put him in a world that was built on injustice. where he is tempted with money, punished with torture, dissuaded with fear, and still Batman fights because, well, he's Batman. They also made everything so fucking cool. Mr. Freeze is a Wendigo, Batman has an axe, and the Batmobile is a nitro-powered armoured monster truck. God, it's like they turned everything up to 11. Absolute Superman did not come to Earth as a child, no. He came as a teenager, meaning he spent his developing years on Krypton with loving parents and, most notably, a planet and culture to grow accustomed to. Oh boy. As a result, he sees the establishment's apathy and greed slowly destroy his world, sees their need for censorship to take control even as the planet around them slowly rots from the inside. He sees as his home burns and experiences the loss of everyone he knows as his nanite-infused ship becomes the only one that seems to escape. Where Superman would typically get an understanding of the value of life through living it, this one sees that value only in its absence. For over a year, his ship flies through the empty black, the glass of his prison being the only thing separating him from the void. He's isolated. And when he does finally land on a world capable of inhabiting, when he lands on a farm finding the first metaphorical and literal warmth since Krypton died, when he finds two honest farmers who are willing to give him a family and a town that is willing to give him community, that too is taken away by the uncaring establishment that dominates and owns everything it touches, Lazarus Corp. With the iron fists of their peacemakers and their brainiac algorithm, maintain the quiet shadow rule of their leader, Ra's al Ghul. And like so many other things in this world, they want to own Superman, to break him, corrupt him, and twist him to their image. But, of course, he doesn't break. He refuses to wear the chains, refuses to take the sanctity of life, and will always fight for the downtrodden because no matter what this universe takes from him, he's still Superman. Absolute WonderWoman is probably the most different in her origin compared to her original counterpart, and she's also my favourite in this universe. While she is an Amazonian, she is told that she is the last one left, and she is raised solely by Circe, one of her villains in the original continuity, in the underworld, adding Princess of Hell to her long list of titles. She has an undead Pegasus, badass tattoos, and a buster sword that she can make bigger to take out kaiju. Also, look at her! So you would think that with this entire setup she would be the edgiest one out of the bunch, but instead she's actually the kindest, sweetest, and most empathetic representation of Wonder Woman I think I've ever seen. She values every life, big and small, and brings hope and love to almost every situation she's in, despite the government making itself her enemy, despite her origins in a barren hellscape. She's still Wonder Woman. In Ethiopia, about 330 feet below sea level, lies the Danakil Depression, one of the most hostile places on Earth. The ground bubbles with pure acid hot springs. The air is thick with poisonous clouds of chlorine and sulfur. Temperatures hit 45 degrees Celsius, that's 113 Fahrenheit. Scientists literally call it the gateway to hell. Every rule of biology says that life should not exist here. And yet, life does exist there. Bacteria was found, life has formed, showing that our expectations of the world do not define it. It is the world and its infinite possibilities that form our understanding, not the other way around. I read an article that states that because the absolute world of DC is formed by Darkseid and has a scientific leaning towards misery, that the bad guys should win more in this world. That allowing the hero's victory isn't going far enough, and I disagree. I think this universe is about the emergence of hope and good in a world that is actively hostile to it. How the status quo does not decide reality no matter how hard it tries. If bacteria can emerge in a place thought to be inhospitable to life, breaking our understanding of the world, then so too in the darkest realities can a knight emerge in a city of thieves. Can a miracle fall from the endless unforgiving void, so too can a flower bloom in hell. The difference between these heroes and their original counterparts, the thing that they all have in common, the thing that makes the absolute universe the best current DC content in my opinion, is that all of these heroes are the underdogs. They are fighting against the status quo, not upholding it. Rather than fighting shady criminals in dark hideouts, they are fighting the very establishments that make the world worse than it could be in a reality that does not want them there. And I think, to a lot of modern readers, that's inspiring. I think that resonates. Because if hope and heroism can emerge in a reality that is hostile to them, if life can form in an environment that denies it, then maybe change can come from you. Thank you for watching.